The sun is out, the water's fine, our jobs are a drag, so why not hit the beach? And why not work at the beach? Why not make the beach our career and make six figures while we're at it? In Los Angeles County, that, my friends, is actually possible. And you don't have to be on Baywatch to do it. You can be a real lifeguard. A group called OpenTheBooks.com found that no fewer than 98 LA County lifeguards paid by LA County taxpayers earned at least $200,000 last year. And the highest earner took home more than $500,000, most of it in overtime. OpenTheBooks.com. Adam Andrzejewski joins me live now. Adam, I love this story so much because I always wanted to be a lifeguard. I never was a lifeguard, but I didn't think it paid $500,000. How is this possible?
I mean, who knew, Ashley, right? And quite frankly,
it's crazy.
I don't know how it's possible. I mean, how can you be a Baywatch lifeguard? These LA County lifeguards actually patrol the Baywatch beaches. All of us remember Baywatch, the TV show, and Baywatch, the movie, and you can make over $500,000 a year. Look, our auditors at OpenTheBooks.com, we dug deep into the issue, and here's the best answer to your question. We found that they actually formed a union back in 1995, and the union's been very savvy negotiators, hiking up the pay, perks, and pension benefits for the lifeguards, and now they can make north of $500,000 a year.
Do they have to put in, like ridiculous amounts of overtime in order to reach $500,000? Or is it sort of like the guy that just works really hard, say 12 hours a day?
So the top paid lifeguards are working hard. We're not saying that it's easy to be an LA County lifeguard. We're just saying it's lucrative. So last year, the top paid lifeguard made $246,000 in overtime alone. We looked at him over the course of the past 6 years, and he made nearly $1 million in overtime. And that drove his top level earnings at taxpayer cost over 6 years to nearly $2.4 million. So you can make a lot of money patrolling the Baywatch beaches.
It's insane. If you look at this grid right in front of you right now, it's just astounding, the dollar figures. Now, on the other side of the coin, Adam, the lifeguards say they guarded 50 million beachgoers last year and that they did more than 9,000 rescues. So it's true. They really do work hard, and they do have to have a lot more credentials than just, sunscreen and sunglasses.
You're right. Yeah, many are trained as EMTs, paramedics. Some have special firefighter training for fire boats. So again, it can be dangerous being an LA County lifeguard, but you can put in a lot of time and you can make a lot of money. So over the course of the past 6 years, the top 10 overtime earners as an LA County lifeguard, they made between $320,000 up to $980,000 in overtime alone. So it can be very lucrative.
So are they working all year round for that, or is it like heavy duty overtime hours all summer long?
So they're full time, and during times when there's wildfires, they help firefighters and support them as they fight those wildfires. During the pandemic, they actually pitched in the COVID-19 relief. But here's the problem, Ashley. You had doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals on the front lines of COVID over the course of the last 2 years. And many of those, especially the nurses, many doctors, they weren't making $500,000 a year. So the pay system for LA County lifeguards is quite obviously broken.
It does sound a bit crazy, but at the same time, I always wondered if there's a big discrepancy between a beach lifeguard and a pool lifeguard, because it seems to me a pool lifeguard has it a lot easier. A beach lifeguard, it is hard to see what's out there, especially with a very crowded beach and a very crowded surf.
That's a great question, and there's a big difference in pay between the pool lifeguards. They top out at about $45,000 a year. And that's, I think, what the American people expect in terms of the pay for a lifeguard. Now, the ocean lifeguards, they can make, as we've been talking about, there's 30 of them that made more than $300,000 last year. And obviously, the top paid lifeguard made $510,000.
So are there any women in the high earners category? Because I think I only saw men, but there has to be some. I mean, it's not as though the women can't do the same job, right?
Well, exactly. But this is a male dominated industry in LA County, which was very interesting to our auditors at OpenTheBooks.com. Only 2 of the 20 top paid lifeguards in LA County are women. So you've got 90% of the top paid earners, they're men. That's 18 out of the top 20. And that's been the same going back 3 years to 2019 when we first started looking at these payrolls.
This is so interesting. Adam Andrzejewski, thank you so much for bringing this to us, and come back with other stories like this because I am just fascinated by it. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend and be safe out there.
Thank you, Ashley.